Being an FDA facility, it's imperative that our clients, whether they're cosmetic, FDA, or chemical, get a batch that is consistent with their process. The process is translated into a procedure, and we need to make sure at APS that we are following that procedure to the letter. In order to do so, that procedure has critical parameters in which the batch needs to run in. This could be vacuum, pressure, temperature, or even humidity. And making sure that all of these critical parameters are documented on a batch record, so then that way our customers have the knowledge and the know-how of exactly what happened with their batch, and to make sure that they have the documentation to back it up. So here on the screen, we see these critical parameters laid out. They actually are coming and being transmitted to this screen by radio frequency transmitters located on the unit. They're spread out all over the unit to measure pressures and temperatures of whatever critical parameter our customer tells us to measure. All of these then get put onto our data log. Our data log is based at half-hour intervals, where we used to have an operator stay overnight and take down copious notes and make sure that all of these critical parameters were written down. But now this machine automates and make sure that we have everything transmitted back to this receiver and inputted to the PLC to make sure that we are keeping track of everything that we need to keep track of. This tells me the vacuum of what happened, this tells me the vapor temperature, this tells me product temperature. So even though I'm not here and I'm not watching the unit, when I come in the morning, I know exactly what happened. It's also nice to see because as these fill in, I can start to see trends. We can start to know exactly what happened for a process and when it was optimized, when it reached the result that we wanted, to make sure that we can shrink drying times, that we can increase our productivity, and make sure that you get the most production run with the most efficient time. We have different parameters which go to different temperature-based drying screens or time-based drying screens. So when our operator sets in the different parameters or the recipe of how we want to make a particular product for a client, it's all right here and everything is documented. We also have gauges that tell us where we are in the process, and we also have progress bars that tell us how we're running and what we're running and at what time and stage we are in the process. These control panels are so automated that they actually have speakers on them as well. This allows the operator not only to see what stage of the process that we're in, but also hear and get a reminder for what stage of the process we're in. So the unit will actually talk and say, you have entered the heating mode, you have entered the drying mode, or you have entered the cooling mode. These different modes and these different triggers will let the operator know exactly what's happening with the batch, even when they're not physically here reading it or looking at it. Advanced Powder Solutions is a CGMP facility. We're also an FDA registered facility, so we know all about documentation. We have an amazing QC department which makes sure all of our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed to make sure the batch records that you receive are perfect each and every time that you get them. Our shipping documents, all the way from internal receipt of bills of lading, inventory, control, and process, as well as everything that we get from our batch as it runs, are all part of your batch records and your batch process that you get with every batch you make here at Advanced Powder Solutions. APS has an extensive warehouse, so we are able to accommodate all of your raw materials for however large or small your campaign size is. With the Gemco formulator technology, as well as jet milling capability and screening and sifting capability, we're able to handle all of your powder processing needs under one roof. We're conveniently located at the 287 and 78 corridor, which makes us a convenient and strategic partner to become your extension of manufacturing. Please call our facility today to speak with our process engineer. We'd be happy to help you optimize your process and scale up for production.